Alright, so it's 11 o'clock in the morning. I just landed in Jacksonville, which is 2.5 hours away from Tallahassee, where Florida State Miami is taking place tomorrow. But right before I was about to go to bed on the plane, my buddy Payne taps me on the shoulder and says he's on my flight as well. His brother plays for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Let's go find Payne. He was in like row 30 because, you know, he doesn't have that YouTube money yet. The trip has just begun. Let's go. Bye. We meet up with Payne, who's visiting his brother on the Jacksonville Jaguars. I ended up renting a Cybertruck to test it out and see if I wanted to buy one down the line. Hey, Uber pickup. Uber pickup for Payne. Before starting the 3-hour drive to Tallahassee, we head over to Best Bet for some poker. I'm into the 2-5 game for $1,000, and firsthand I look down at the jiggities from the cutoff and I make it $30 to go. We're gonna get 3-bet by the opponent across the table to $130. I'm not looking to put in the 4-bet here against players I know nothing about, so I decided to just call in position, and we're off to a flop, which comes 8-7-4 with 2 spades. He bets out for $125 and I put in the call. We have another player on my left who calls as well. Still 3 ways to the turn, which comes a board connecting 6 of clubs. My opponent continues to bet here. I really don't love my overpair, especially with a 3rd player in the hand, but if he slows down and checks, well, I think we have the best hand. Unfortunately, he jams for $410, and it's not as easy as it seems. Sure, I have an overpair to the board, but with 2 other players, one of which who has raised pre-flop and bet all the streets on this very connected board, I decided to toss my hand into the muck. A little questionable decision here, and he later said that he had ace-5. Unfortunately, here at Best Bet, they're very strict about filming, and I get asked to stop.
You can't film on the table.
Okay.
Yeah, so that can't be up there. You can't take pictures.
I totally respect their decision. I'm not trying to get anyone fired on my accord, so I move over to the 2-2 game to mess around with some vlog watchers, one of which is David.
Oh, did the shot?
Oh yeah. Oh no, I was going over for the good reaction. After taking a few shots, pictures, and signing some merch, I ended up losing $654 messing around in Jacksonville, and it's time to hit the road to Tallahassee. The first stop is a sick 2-5 game right across from the bars in perfect location. Dallas hit me up on Instagram and said this was the best game at FSU. Let's get right into it. What's up, bro? I'm in for $1,000, and I've been reading your comments. How do these college kids have so much money? I know a lot of the games at your schools, or when you went to school back in the day, were for pennies or maybe even like $20. But this is a new generation of degenerates. I'm all for it. I'm in for $1,000, and we look down at Pocket Kings. This is unfair. I'm on the button. There's a raise to 15 and a call in front of me. I make it $70 to go, and only Daniel puts in the call. Daniel, what do you got here? The flop comes Jack, Jack, 6, rainbow, and I decide to check behind for a little bit of deception, let him catch up, and the turn comes the 4 of clubs. He checks it over to me, and now I go for value for $100. He puts in the call, and the river comes the 10 of clubs. What will he do here? He checks it over to me once again. I don't think he has a great hand, so I go small here for 1/3 of $225. And he goes into the tank.
I'll let you. You're like on the fence, right? Okay, I'll let you choose one. Don't get too excited here. That one?
He ends up letting the king 6 of hearts go, making a great fold and saving another $225 in the process. But it's time to battle now with the game runner Dallas. There's a straddle to 10, and Daniel limps. I make it Cinco de Mayo to go here with Queen Jack offsuit. We get a call from our left, but not before Dallas makes it $225. Well, he's being a good host, giving some action. I gotta be a good guest here with the Queen Jack offsuit. I jam for $750. The chips are flowing here, of course. Dallas calls it off, and we're going off to a run out here one time in a nearly $1,600 pot. He turns over the ace of clubs, and of course there's an ace right on the flop, but there's also a jack. So if we hit a jack or a queen on the turn or river, we're gonna take this down, but it seems the home court advantage is a little bit too strong here, and he's taking down a massive pot here at 2-5.
Oh my goodness. Spiral.
We then play a game called Derailment, which is 3 boards, one of which gets killed. Super fun, but I end up losing the last $300 in my stack. But good news, that means I can rebuy for another $1,000, but not before we do a round of shots.
I like the collection up there. Very, very professional.
With the fresh $1,000 in front of me, I decide to limp with Ace-10 offsuit. There's a raise to $55 and a bunch of calls, and of course, I'm not folding.
I've never seen a Cinco de Mayo I didn't like.
I put in the call as well, and we flop pretty good here on a 10-4-3 board with 2 hearts. I have the Ace of Hearts in my hand. I check it over to the opponent on my left, who goes by Slow Play JP. Yeah, he fires out for 125, and there's 2 callers over to me. What would you guys do here with top pair and a backdoor nut flush draw? I just put in the call, and the turn comes the 5 of clubs. Check it over to JP once again, and he fires out for $250. Will any of the 2 other opponents put in the call? No, it's back over to me. I cut out some chips, and I put in the call once again, and the river is the Jack of Diamonds. I don't hate this card, but I also don't love it. It's obviously an overcard to my 10. When I check it over to JP, I really hope he checks behind here, but that's not what he does. He fires out for $400, and immediately, I don't love this spot. I just can't pay him off here. I fold my cards, and he ends up showing a hand that had me beat. Luckily, I'm not going to get roasted by you guys in the comments for making a somewhat disciplined fold here, and he shows pocket queens. So he had me the entire way. It makes sense betting into all those opponents, and luckily I save another $400 on the river, but I just can't seem to string anything together. Hopefully, Ace-King of clubs will treat us a little bit better here. I decide to limp in for $10. There's a raise to 50, and Daniel puts in the call actions on me. Time to spring the trap. I make it 200 and Cinco de Mayo to go. We get a call across the table, and Daniel rips it all in for $678.
If it's good for 50,
No, it's good for Alex. It's good for poker. It's good for 5,000. No, it's good for poker. That's what it is.
Of course, I'm going nowhere. I put in the call. We're hoping to entice the 3rd player to call as well, but he's a little bit wiser. He folds his cards, and we're off to a run out here with Mr. Daniel here. Let's see if we can take him down. We're showing 1 card each. He turns over the 3 of diamonds. Hopefully he has Ace-3 suited, but the flop comes 10-5-3, giving him a pair. He doesn't know that I have no pair at this moment, and I also have no heart draw, so the 8 of hearts on the turn is no help. I need an ace or a king.
Show it! Let's go!
What a luck box. He got it in terrible shape, but worse than that, he's also gonna give me a bang sticker.
How the fuck do you hit your 3? How do you hit your 3?
There's a few epic crossovers in this vlog, the first of which is my buddy Snarp, the YouTube troll, pulls up to this 2-5 game, and of course, we gotta buy him in for $300.
This is gonna be fucking.
This next hand's hilarious. Matt makes it $20 to go, and there's a caller over to me. I 3-bet it to 115 with King, Queen suited. What the fuck was that? I 3-bet it up to $115 with King, Queen suited, 2/5 of a royal flush, and Matt jams it all in for $415. Easiest call of my life here. Let's go off to a run out one time.
If you can get someone to bring it, I'll pay him on the plus 10. This is good.
Oh, damn it.
What? Oh, fuck. I played a 4.
I have king high.
Oh, no.
Yes! Yes! Oh, no! Not like that!
So the way we've been running tonight is pretty shocking that we end up getting there with a counterfeit against Matt. Next hand, we look down at pocket jacks. There's a raise to $75, and pretty much the entire table puts in the call. Daniel wasn't lying. This is going to be an insane game to top the rest of the weekend, but when it comes back around to me with pocket jacks, of course, I got to make it $440 to go. That's going to get us some action from Blake under the gun, who puts in the call, and the flop comes Queen 7-6 rainbow. The action goes check, check, bringing in the deuce of diamonds on the turn. Time to go for some value now. I put them all in for $495, and he turns over ace king of spades before finding the fold. He didn't want to call there with just 6 outs. The river was the 4 of hearts, which wouldn't have helped him. Up until this point, I lost 2 $1,600 pots, but finally, I go 1 for 3, taking this one down against Blake. Queen 9 of spades now from under the gun. I make it $55 to go when we get a bunch of callers over to Daniel, who has 1 speed and 1 speed only. He jams for $595. The only way to get unstuck is to put chips in the middle. Daniel's a fun player we saw earlier with ace 3 suited, so I'm going to give him some light action as well. I call for $595. We're gonna go off to a run out. The flop comes Jack 7-3, which doesn't help us at all. The turn comes a king of diamonds, and let's just run the table audio for this river.
We're good.
You gotta show Daniel.
I don't have a pair.
Yeah, you have a pair, bro.
I don't. Do I have a pair? I don't have a pair. How do I don't have a pair.
Oh my god.
I don't have a pair. Brother, I don't have a pair.
How do I have a pair?
I didn't lie.
Wow, that's insane. I absolutely crushed.
Oh my, you had pocket 9s too? Oh my god, everything. Thank you very much. Thank you. Yep, okay. We have $2,100 in our stack, which means we're up $100 on the session. After being down $1,000 pretty early on, it's a great spot to be in, and I make it $40 to go with ace 5 suited. One player puts in the call, and Nolan now 3-bets to $225. Ace 5 suited, for those of you guys that don't know, is a great hand to play super aggressively. You block pocket aces, you can make the wheel, you can also make a sneaky pair of 5, so I decided to put in the 4-bet here, which is very strong, and I make it $1,550, which is everything he has in front of him. I would expect him to fold hands like King Jack, King Queen even could find a fold. Pocket 7s, pocket 8s might be enticed to do so. So I really like this jam here, but not when Nolan puts in the call. We're gonna play a massive $3,152 pot, and this hand will quite literally make or break this session and potentially the entire weekend. Come on, dealer. One time the flop comes all hearts, king 7-5, giving me bottom pair. Maybe he has ace queen suited. I hope. The turn comes a king of diamonds, making it less likely he has a king. But then he shows ace king offsuit. We're absolutely smoked. The river comes an inconsequential queen of hearts. And I know I came here on a college football weekend to play some poker, but in this hand, I definitely feel like the punter. With the remaining $410 in my stack, the only sensible thing to do is put it in the middle as soon as possible. And it's good news for us. We pick up 7 deuce, and we're also playing the 7 deuce game. So when the $50 and the $100 straddles are out there, let me just say huge props to these guys for putting out the $25, $50, and $100 straddle in a college game in Tallahassee. I mean, man, if I had this game when I was in college, I probably would be even more of a degenerate. I jammed for $410, and we are going to get a lot of action here. It's a 3-way all-in versus JP and Dallas. A chance to triple up, especially when the flop comes 2 hearts. I haven't showed my cards yet. This would be insane if I could drill a heart on the turn or the river.
Oh my god, I should have done it. Queen! Queen.
Fuck!
Threes, you're scooped.
Oh.
That's it. You have more than 1,000. Yeah, you got more than 1,000. You scoop it all.
If you're a college student and haven't signed up yet for the Wolfgang Ambassador program, what are you doing? I'm picking the top 3 schools in the US to come out and play in your home games, and it's completely free to compete. Anyone can be an ambassador in the top 3 schools. With the most signups, will get a personal visit from me. You'll make it on a YouTube video on the channel and a private 5,000 chip free roll tournament for you and your fellow classmates. The top 3 spots are still wide open for the taking, but hurry quickly because I'm closing signups and announcing the winners on May 7th, so you only have a few weeks to get your Wolfgang signups in. WolfgangAmbassador.com, sign up for free and start recruiting using promo code Wolfgang. Bang! After donating $2,000 in Dallas's game, it's time to forget just how much we lost by meeting up at the bars with Snark.
Hey, did you win or lose? I lost 2K. If I drink enough, I won't remember that.
The next morning is game day. The best way to get over a hangover is to keep drinking. Good thing Joey over at Pike hit us up to come over to their tailgate. time to lock in. We're meeting up with Sean Winter at his box to catch the game. Sean making an appearance in this low-stakes college vlog is an insane crossover because he's #1 all-time on the Florida money list with over $38 million in career earnings, and he just so happens to be a massive Seminoles fan.
Practice field over there. Wow. From Korea to Tallahassee. Let's go, baby. There's no doubt. We're coming.
The Noles lost, but we head over to Pike for some poker. Shout out to Joey for the invite into his 1-2 $200 buy-in, and check the time up at the top of the screen. We are starting the session at 2:30 in the morning, so you know these hands are going to be degenerate. I look down at Queen 8 of hearts here from the small blind and call a $12 raise. The flop gives me a flush draw, and there's a bet from my opponent for $15, and I put in the call. I drill the flush on the turn. He continues to bet for $25, and I ask his buddy what I should do.
Yo, pick a number, 1 or 2. 2. Yeah, he chose. It was him. Yeah. So.
The river comes a brick, and I ask his friend to pick a number, determining how much I'm gonna bet.
Pick a number 1 through 4.
You go to showdown. 1 through 4.
Yeah.
I'll go 1. You can go to showdown. Uh-oh.
He snap calls the $25. I turn over the flush, and he folds his cards, showing Ace-5 offsuit.
2 or 4, I go all in. 1 or 3 is a 25.
Thank God for Patterson there. Now we're here.
In the next hand, Daniel jams for $77, and I decide to call him with King Deuce offsuit. We're going off to a run out one time, and of course, he's gonna scoop me with Ace-5 offsuit.
Stop. Huh?
Oh.
Chippin'.
Show me it's the Reese donation.
We then pick up Ace-5 offsuit for ourselves, and Wesley jams it all in for $97, and I'm gonna give him some action.
GG. Hold on, show the flush. So now we can't flip, bro.
Disgusting run out there for Wesley. I end up making trips against his pair of 4s, but at the end of the day, that was just a flip pre-flop, and I'm making $200 for my call.
We lost 300. It's going to a good place. Great time.
Yeah. Never fucking stop.
We're not even playing poker anymore. We're just flipping.
Yeah.
The next morning, before heading back to Jacksonville, we head over to Kappa Sig. Aiden and Zach hit me up on Instagram about their 1-2 game. We're in for $300. In the first hand, I look down at the snowman and make it $15 to go. Zach decides to 3-bet to $60 over a $15 call, and the action's back over to me. Of course, I put in the call. We're going off to a flop. Heads up, which comes Queen Jack 6 with 2 spades. Zach fires out for a quarter, and I call once again. The turn comes a 9 of hearts, and now he slows down and checks. I'm going to take this opportunity to get to a river. Hopefully there's no spade or heart, and the river comes the 9 of diamonds. So when he fires out for $35, it's kind of an interesting spot, but it's so small that I'm feeling suspicious.
I'm not going to raise you. It's a hero call if I make it. That's what it feels like, but now that you're talking, I feel like you might be bluffing. If you talk me out of calling with ace king, huh? Dude, you're nasty. If you talk me out of calling, I'm gonna fold this, but if you talk me out of calling with ace king, you're gangster.
When he calls my exact hand, I have to fold it there, and it looks like he was milking me with Jack King offsuit for 2 pair.
Dude, nice call with the ace, though. That was sick.
Put the bang sticker on him.
You gotta do it. You gotta do it.
Alright, dude.
After Aiden administering the bank sticker and then for some reason not putting his shirt back on, we look down at King Queen offsuit from the small blind, and I raise it up to $55. We're gonna get some action from the other Aiden, who's conveniently sitting right next to him.
Blind.
You didn't know it, but you're getting a
And the flop comes Jack 9-3 with 2 hearts. I jam for $85, putting them all in, and he finds the call with a super premium King Jack of hearts, so top pair and a King high flush draw. And I'm gonna need a 10 that's not a heart in order to improve. The turn comes a 9 of spades, river, 4 of hearts, and that's gonna give Aiden the check mark and $337.
Taking myself out of this hole.
Hey, you're welcome, brother.
One all-in blind at a time, baby.
I end up rebuying for another $300, and I decide to film a few Instagram reels. If you guys aren't following me over there at Wolfgang Poker, those guys saw it first. I ended up making 2 pair here against another 2 pair and winning a nice $300 pot. And then with pocket 9s, I flop a set on a King 9-7 board and get maximum value here when I make a boat and get my opponent to shove into me for $637. So a nice way to end the trip here, finally booking a win at Kappa Sig.
Of course he won the flip with a W on the chest. Somehow we won money. It hurts. I don't want to take the money from the board.
That's me, baby.
Hey, at least we're ending the trip on a W.
The Wolves went up.
The Wolves went up. Hey, you guys look at this.
That's a wrap from FSU. We started off with 3 straight losses of $654 at Best Bet, $2K at Majestic, and $300 at Pike. But the guys at Kappa Sig gave us $332 back, bringing us to negative $2,622 on the trip. And if you add that with our last 2 videos total of negative $2,326 through 3 trips, I've donated just under $5,000. Thanks for watching, you guys. Make sure you sign up for the Wolfgang Ambassador program in order to win that $5,000 free roll for your school, and I'll show up to your home game and take you guys out to dinner. Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss an upload. Good luck on the felt, you guys, and I'll catch you very soon in the next vlog. Peace.